it's all to say if we just box ourselves in and say go with a publisher, then yeah, I think Jack, you mentioned it before that a publisher is going to want you to have the entire thing laid out, 14, 18, 24 months in advance. And anytime you want to make a change, anytime you go, hey, this didn't work out, or creatively we're going in a different direction, ooh, that's going to be a huge problem because that's not what it says in the contract, that's not what it says in the milestone list. And if we were a major entity with lots of money, maybe we would have some leverage in those kind of discussions. But we aren't, and we never have been, so we won't. So why bother engaging in any kind of relationship where, if Jack decides, hey, I want to add in a helicopter, I want to add in this crazy climbing system, I want to do stuff that literally nobody else has done, despite all the money that the major players of the industry have, I'm going to do something more interesting and better. But it's not written in the contract, so you can't do it. And we've had that plenty. We've had we want to try this. No, we want to take some content out because it's ultimately not finishable, and we want to get this product done. No, that's a huge issue. That's like cutting up the disc. Stupid, really fucking stupid things have been said to us for years, which behind the scenes we've tried not to expose to people too much because of like NDAs and shit. Like we've tried to stick to the letter of the law, but it's this invisible layer of bullshit that holds us back and is holding back pretty much everybody else in the industry as well. You're beholden to spreadsheet men who don't have the game in mind. They don't think about putting gamers first. They don't even think about putting developers first. And they hold you to bullshit contracts. Like, it's a mess. It's a fucking mess. And, surprise, surprise, when we don't engage in any of that and actually go in the opposite direction, Jack and Michael have both made amazing things and made amazing headway in an incredibly short space of time. And we're doing this essentially in a cave with a box of scraps. Like, we're not, we do not have oodles of resources right now, and yet we believe what we're doing is far more interesting than most of the shit that's being put out there. Every E3 that rolls around, every VR expo, whatever, we look at it and we just go, really? It's the same old tired shit. And what's happening in VR right now? Everybody's going crazy over this modding tool. It's an Unreal injector to like inject VR into non-VR games, which is cool. It's amazing. It's complete fucking magic in my opinion how they're doing it. But again, it's like, right, that's the coolest thing happening in VR right now is normal screen-based games are being given VR functionality. Not anybody doing amazing stuff in VR, apart from the occasional like Half-Life Alyx, like great. But outside of that, what's really happening? Is everybody hyped for the next Fract? Don't think so. 20 million of investment, and yeah, they made Fract. Wow, they had skiing. To be, you've made like Apache helicopters, unique personal locomotion systems. We've got multiplayer coming soon, but hey, like, have you got skiing at like 5 miles per hour down a flat slope? Because that's what the big boys are doing. The big boys are doing that, and we're over here doing stuff that's 10 times more interesting. So, to us it's obvious, like, if we go down that path and sign the deal with the devil today, we're going to end up doing boring shit, basically. We're going to be status quo, which is the problem this industry faces, is it's so status quo, it's so boring.
Or, as we've been through, we're making something and the deal changes, or things beyond our control happen, and whatever we're making is killed. Points of failure, basically. There's just so many points of failure with doing these deals. If you do a deal and it goes well and great, and a lot of companies succeed, but I think, well, I say a lot of companies succeed. Statistically, probably not. We probably fall into the trend with Prospect, as you'd expect. You've told me stories, Andrew, of companies that they've gone through way more of the ringer than we have had to with this sort of stuff. They've had great stuff, and then they've been killed by decisions from 5,000 miles away.
Yep.
I want us to be robust and be able to survive those sorts of things. And really, that comes from just scaling down. I said to you, like, we are kind of like, I feel like we're kind of like small furry animals in burrows. We don't have much. There's only a few of us. But meanwhile, the dinosaurs are about to be hit by an astronaut. I was going to say astronaut, an asteroid or meteorite, whatever. They're going to be hit by an astronaut and wiped out. That's what's going to happen. But we'll survive and inherit. Well, I don't inherit the Earth.
It absolutely. But I think that's. I mean, it absolutely. Basically, like an era is ending. Like we're clearly we're in the first point in the games industry where it's actually starting to like shrink. And we've got guys like Bobby Kotick, what was it last year, saying record profits for Activision, but we're under target, so we're having to fire people. And it's like, the wheels are coming off the wagon. And it's not just with games, obviously, it's with everything right now. The whole system is grinding to a halt because it is full of sludge, which has been building up now for decades. And again, we'll get into it. I know I'm starting to get like louder and angrier. My go-off moment is... I think we should say... And it's 1 hour and 24 minutes. There's going to be plenty of fucking go-off moments, guys. I really am unplugged and untethered. I've got a lot of opinions on this shit. But we'll save the deep dive on why everything's so fucked for the future. But yeah, it's... If we're going to... Are we going to stay on the clearly sinking ship, which is... I would say not just this industry, but just the kind of system as a whole. The games industry fits into the wider system and it's going down. So we can stay on that and we can continue to smile through gritted teeth as people with far more money than us tell us what to do and, essentially like blackmail us and, try and force us down paths we don't want to go down. Or we could find a new way forwards. We could make the kind of games that we want to make. We can... provide entertainment like this show, the games, content, whatever, to the people, to our audience, which is essentially core gamers, people who really do give it, not people who play Bejeweled and stuff on mobile, but people who actually give a shit about gaming, who enjoyed the golden era of gaming that we had, and want to see a return to that, or maybe a new golden era. That's what we want to bring about. We want to fight against this decline, and the only way we're going to do that is by doing interesting stuff, and the status quo industry is not... for the most part, not providing interesting stuff. It doesn't have the capacity to do it anymore.